Oh, sorry. Okay, then I'm resigning. Alright, I don't care. Hey everyone, it's your friendly winner, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are gonna play chess, and today it's against Magnus Carlsen against wait, I'm typing Carlsen in this. Okay, so it's against Magnus Carlsen and versus Hikaru. What is this? Does anyone know the spelling? Ugh. No, I'm just gonna search Carlsen. Okay. Now? What? Oh, come on now. I cannot Carl. Yeah, what about now? Is this correct? Whew. You know, I do not know anything about spellings and names and everything, guys. So, sorry about that sound. So here it shows the finals that has to be played against Carlsen and Nakamura, and here it is the finals. Nakamura Hikaru. So versus Magnus Carlsen. So here was the match that he played. Carlsen Magnus takes it to E. He opens it with E4, E5. Knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to b5. Now, trying to remove one of the c6. One of the e5 defenders. Well, there's no other defenders. Okay, so knight f6, and then castles. Knight to knight to e4, capturing the pawn. As if he had never done that before. Like, people do it. Rook to e1. Now, telling that are you gonna sacrifice your knight and then come up in a plan in 2 moves, or you're gonna put it in check. But Carlsen Nakamura thinks, okay, then you're the one who's the culprit. So he moves knight to d6. Now, keeping an eye on the e1 square. Yes, I correct? No, e4 square. Okay. I have a tough time, doing these. Oh yeah, okay. So it's an f6 square, maybe? No, it's the e4. Okay, it's the e4 square. Keeping an eye on the e4 square, and at the c4, it even threatens to capture the bishop, but knight to e5, now capturing it. Now, and then Hikaru could have captured the e5 knight and have come to a better position with his knight, but he moves bishop to e7. He thinks that, I have a better plan, so I'm not gonna capture yours. You play somehow that you want. Bishop to f1, now bringing back where the bishop was. Knight to f5. Now, actually, bishop to f1 actually reverses the step, because you bring it out and then you take it back. That's that's not that much good. Like, if you bring out a knight and then you put it back, that's just like the reverse. Like, if you send a lion in a raft and then it comes back straight off. So you gotta send 2, or something like that. So knight to f5, knight to f3. Now, actually moving away from the c6 square. We have castles by Hikaru. d4, saying that, okay, you capture it, I don't care, I'm sacrificing my knight. Well, both the knights are gonna go off. So d5. Now, Hikaru says that I'm not gonna do that. Okay. And then knight to c3. Now, getting a hold of the d5 square, whereas the f3 knight is only guarding the d4 square. But the c6 and the f5 thing or f5 knights are actually threatening to capture only the the f the d4 square. So bishop to b4, now attacking the knight, and also removing one of the killers for this thing. Well, probably just if he kills it, then his knight is gone. So a3, now forcing the bishop that, okay, if you capture my knight, your bishop is gone, or else back off. So bishop to c3, capturing it. Bishop, and then sorry, not bishop. Okay, so it is pawn to c3, knight to d6, and h3. We have bishop to f5, now threatening to also force a trade. But if the if the knight is brought to if the knight is brought to a3, if one of the knight is brought to the a3 square, then it's straight off done for for the c2 pawn, putting a pressure on it. So like the bishop has some support that it needs to capture the queen. So yeah, if he captures that, if he captures it, the knight's gonna capture it. So bishop to f4, now telling that, okay, if you're gonna try to capture me, I'm a friend, so I'm not gonna do it. But attacking the knight at the same time. The way the d6 knight, rook to e8, now pushing the e1 square. Rook captures on e8, queen captures on e8, knight to h4, now trying to attack the f5 bishop, and at the same time will try to attack the d6 knight, because it already has pressure, and then it'll get more pressure. So bishop to e4, now telling that okay, so you're gonna do that, I'm gonna capture your g2 pawn, and if you don't allow me also, that's gonna be a problem for you. So we have f3 blocking it, now back off, or else you're gonna die. Bishop to g6, we have knight to g6, capturing the bishop at last. Like that bishop was quite like a rat. Ba-dan. Oops. So sorry guys, I'm actually used to commentary a lot, and I haven't actually a good commentator in my school. So I've been practicing it for a long time, and for that no signal thing, I used to put that, for me the sound I used to put it banana. Sucks, man. And we have knight to g6, capturing it at last, getting the bishop. That was like a rat. And then we have pawn that captures at g6, now telling that, okay, you know what, you knight, you stupid knight, you are not supposed to come here. And then we have bishop to d3, now trying to attack the pawn. And if Carlsen moves the f3 to f3 to the f4 square, the pawn f3 pawn to the f4 square, then Carlsen can move the queen over here. Like first Carlsen has to capture the g6 pawn, and then if it does nothing, you can just bring it here, and then you can just move it to the, you can bring the queen to the h5 square, and then you can even move the bishop to the h7 square, threatening check. And the king can't capture it, because if you capture it, it's gonna be checked, and you have only one move. So you have knight to a5, and probably I ate about 3 chapatis for night, and that's why I like a bit of grief, because I am laying down, and then only I'm talking. So actually prevent doing the job of if a pawn, the c2 pawn never goes forward, can be moved to b3 and saying, okay, why don't you give me a rook? Otherwise, I'm gonna move somewhere somewhere in this territory. And c4. So, uh, so the bishop captures on d6, and then pawn captures on d6, queen to d2. Now, giving the queen a nice square. Knight to c4. Now, telling the queen that okay, so you gotta back off or else you're gonna die for sure. So we have bishop to c4. Now capturing it, we have c4 pawn captures, rook to e1. Now threatening a queen, a queen problem here. And then we have queen to a4. Now threatening to capture like the loneliest pawn over here, the a3 pawn. And then we have queen to c1. Now blocking it. Like if he moves the rook, then it's gonna be like a problem, because it just reverses the last step, so he doesn't even need to move it. Like that must be a waste. So that's rook to e8. Now we have rook to e8. Now forcing a rook trade here, and then rook captures, and then queen captures, king to f2. Now actually getting the king to a better square, and Carlsen decides to bring the king into the game. Queen to a4. Now trying to even capture the c2 pawn. Now queen to b2. Now saying that okay, you know that I'm protecting here, so you gotta back up. You gotta remember. So b6, he pushes the pawn forward, and then h4. Now Magnus also pushes the pawn forward, and then king to f8, queen to b4, and forcing Hikaru. Not forcing, just telling that you can trade queens with me. I don't care about it. Queen to c6. Hikaru declines it, and then g4, king to e7, king to g3. Now improving the king in the squares. Queen to d5. And then it's queen to b1. Now actually I'm not gonna protect that pawn anymore. Well, probably it's one of my prized positions. Okay, so queen to e6. Now, okay, so I'm gonna check your king once and for all, but it's gonna be a little tough. So yeah, you can move the queen to the e1 square, but that leaves the king with the black king with the check. So queen to c1. We have telling that okay, I'm protecting this diagonal, so you cannot put the check on this diagonal here. And okay, yeah, queen to d7. King to d7. Now I have a real time of telling all these formula stuff. So king to f2. Now telling that okay, you're gonna put check. I know that, so I cannot even cross this line. Well, I'm gonna force you a queen trade. King to c6, queen to g5. Now telling that okay, I'm not gonna force you anymore queen trade. Magnus changes his mind and says that okay, I'm not gonna force you anymore queen trade. So king to b7, queen to d8. Now it cannot go to the last rank. Well, probably the last rank is where her pawn should get promoted. So f5. Now telling that okay, you can kill my pawn, I don't care, but your pawn is also gonna go. And if you don't mind, I'll kill it with my queen. So yeah, both sides I guess both sides have equal material. So it's time for you that which piece that Magnus. Wait, is this Magnus's turn? Yeah, it's Magnus's turn. So you gotta say which piece that Magnus should move. in the comments. I just drank a bit. And we have queen to f8. Now, telling that, okay, I'm gonna capture your pawn, well, one pawn, but do not torture me. And we have g4 capturing the g4 pawn. We have captures on g4, king to a6, king to f3. Now telling that, okay, I'm gonna lead these pawns, but do not check me, like, stuff. So we have d5. Is that true? Yeah, we have pawn to d5. Well, yeah, there's no more going front and back over here. And then we have king to f4. We have we have captures on, no, wait, sorry, not captures. And then we have captures on g5. Now we have a check, king to g3. Now if you capture, it's gonna be another check because of the d5 pawn. Queen to e1, forcing a check. And then and then the queen blocks it. Queen to c3, check. King to f4. Queen captures the a3 pawn at last. The pawn could have gone straight off up, but yeah, that was a dramatic experience because of the a3 pawn. That was the only pawn that's standing alone. But probably the g4 and 5 pawns are protected by the king, and then the c2 and the d4 pawns are protected by the queen. And then king to e5. Now trying to remove these troublemakers that are actually blocking the way of the d4 pawn. Queen to e7, check. Capture. We have captures. And king to b5. Now warning it, okay, you cannot capture it at the same time. You cannot move your king because your king is trapped because the queen blocks the e file and the diagonal that is the dark diagonal that is standing on, and the king blocks just one block. So there's no point in this. Like, yeah, it's fully trapped now. The Magnus's king is trapped, and at last he can actually some kind of check, but we don't want that. Queen to f5. Now says, okay, I'm gonna somehow leave my king outside, but if you try to capture it anymore, I'm gonna kill you. a5. We have c3 now, telling that, okay, king, please make some more room. And then a4. Now Magnus's Hikaru's pawn is faster, and then for some reason, like, there are 3 squares remaining, but Magnus just plays straight off queen b1. Now telling that, okay, you are forced to move out of the way, and then with the check, and then king to a5. The white king is at last free. King to c6. Queen to e6. Now with the check, king to c7, queen to e7, king to c6, queen to e8, king to c7, queen to e7, king to c6, and on this position, Hikaru will end the game. Well, because there's no more checks that can be done here. Like, every pawn is blocked, and there's only this d5 pawn that can move straight forward. And at the same time, this pawn, the d6 pawn, is hanging. So that's it for this episode, guys, of Hikaru and Carlson's win. Well, Carlson's win and Hikaru's loss. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please do like the video, guys. I would appreciate it if we get up to I'm gonna set the likes target. I would love if it goes to about 100 likes. Well, that's what I expect. And then and if you guys have any queries, like Ashwin, where are you getting these videos? Or I'm not copying these videos, okay? This is my voice. You know it perfectly, and I'm not watching a video beside me, okay? and I'm not cheating. Okay, so even I'm not playing. You can see like the commands that are down. I'm just I'm just going through like what they have played. And so if you guys have any queries like, Ashwin, how can I play chess with you, or Ashwin, we want to like no, we want you to ask to play a game like Franchise Friday, you guys can go and mail it at my mail ID syncforgodashwin@gmail.com. You guys can mail in that, and then I am gonna check it every week on Fridays, of course, because I'm actually in a Arab country right now, and yeah, we have Fridays and Saturdays only holidays. So I want to check it out on Fridays, and because Saturdays sometimes I get some homework from school. So that's it for this episode, and until next time, see ya.